Good morning, everybody. Stephen D here. Today the world is literally burning. I don't mean, it's not a metaphor for Bernie Sanders. I mean literally burning. There are massive fires going on all along the Northern Hemisphere. Siberia, Greenpeace estimates that an area the size of West Virginia has burned this year alone, despite the protests of the Russian government that, no, that's not true. They have a separate fire, a sawdust dump fire, the largest sawdust dump in the world, which has been burning for 3 years and may burn for God knows how much longer, that you can actually see the smoke trail from space. There's a horrendous fire burning just north of Big Sur in California, which authorities are telling us, they think that they won't be able to get under control until August because of the drought conditions, the lack of rain in that area. Earlier this year, we had one of the most horrific fires ever in Alberta. The whole province of Alberta, Canada, was aflame, but in particular the area around Fort McMurray, where the oil tar sands are located. They had to evacuate maybe up to 100,000 people because of that fire. They're just now starting to move them back in. Alaska, there are fires burning in Alaska today that are not getting any attention. This is happening all over the world. In last winter, there were fires in the southern hemisphere. Australia in particular comes to mind. And these stories not being reported right now. All we hear is Trump, Hillary, Trump, Hillary, Trump evil, Hillary not so bad. And nobody's mentioning climate change. Did climate change even get mentioned at all? Much in either convention? No. Democratic convention probably mentioned a little bit more, but then again, their platform committee voted against a ban on fracking. Think about that. Fracking, which we have scientific studies that now indicate that since 2011 the number of methane emissions have increased dramatically, and that in all likelihood the reason for this is the increase in fracking around the world, particularly in the United States, in the shale fields in Pennsylvania, North Dakota, Texas. And we have a former Secretary of State as the nominee who spent her time promoting fracking when she was in office. We have a former Secretary of State who has taken millions of dollars of money, either through her campaign or through super PAC money that was contributed to her, or to the Clinton Foundation. In fact, the Clinton Foundation and its various affiliates have been taking money from ExxonMobil and other large fossil fuel industry companies for decades. Ever since they've been formed, practically. And you expect her to do anything about this? We are in a crisis right now, not tomorrow. We're not talking about 20 years from now, 15 years from now. We're in a crisis today. The amount of CO2 in the atmosphere has already gone way above what was anticipated by the computer models just 10 years ago. The extreme weather events that we're seeing today, extreme precipitation events, hurricanes, tropical storms, just, large rainstorm events which cause massive flooding. I can give you just two examples if you want to recall them. The flooding in Colorado a few years ago, which blows my mind because Colorado is semi-arid. You don't get massive flooding in Colorado like what they experience. And then the massive flooding again in South Carolina more recently, which essentially shut down the state for over a month. And we're told, oh well, don't be concerned about this. These 100-year, sometimes 500-year, 1,000-year floods are just a coincidence. They're all happening all the time. We're seeing flooding across the world in other places. Sea ice extent this year is on pace to be the lowest on record. It's already the lowest on record for the past several, each month. Each month is set a new record low for sea ice. We're seeing glaciers disappear before our eyes. In fact, there's a new term for what we're witnessing. It's not called global warming anymore. It's not climate change. It's anthropogenic climate disruption, which I think is also euphemistic. I think it actually should be man-made climate destruction, because that's what we're witnessing. We're witnessing areas in the tundra, where in Siberia, where pockets of trapped methane and carbon dioxide are being released into the atmosphere, literally explosive. As the tundra warms up, you're seeing these built-up gases beneath, where all this trapped carbon dioxide and methane was, blowing out, creating huge craters, and releasing huge amounts of these very, very intense greenhouse gases. We're far beyond what the models are predicted. We are at a crisis now, and no one who's running for president, with one exception, is going to do anything about it. Donald Trump, the Republicans, they're climate change deniers. Climate change is a hoax, so we know they're not going to do anything. Hillary Clinton, the Democrats, they're being bought off by not only the big oil and gas corporations, but also by the Wall Street firms that are in bed with these same corporations. They have lots of, deals that they do with fossil fuel companies around the world. They've made bets on, drilling in the Arctic Ocean, for example, or increased fracking. If you think for 1 minute that anything will be done by the current parties in power, the current two major parties, Democratic Party, Republican Party, that duopoly, you're kidding yourself. No, there's only one candidate whose platform and whose party even addresses seriously the issue of climate change as a crisis today, and that's Jill Stein and the Green Party. Right now, I would urge all of you who are watching this to do everything you can to get her on the ballot in as many states as possible, to boost her numbers in the polls so that she isn't excluded from the debates. I mean, seriously, does anybody want to just see a debate between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton? One is a known buffoon, and the other is a known liar. Serial liar. Committed liar. No, that would be... maybe if you like to watch train wrecks, that would be a great debate, if you could call it that. No, we want people up there actually discussing the issues that concern people. I'm talking about, man-made climate destruction today, or anthropogenic climate destruction, or global warming, or whatever name you want to put on it. But there are other issues that the Green Party supports that would be heard only and discussed only if she's up there, if Jill Stein's up there on the debate floor, and has the opportunity to bring those issues up. Because we know the media is not going to cover these issues. They're not covering them now. They don't cover climate change much at all during in the regular course of a normal year, but in an election year they certainly never cover it. When do they cover Black Lives Matter? Only when there's a protest or a potential for a quote riot, or they cover it when cops are killed so they can blame Black Lives Matter people. So it's absurd. Now, if you think I'm lying to you, I'm going to list underneath this video all the links that back up what I'm saying. Okay? You can go to those links, you can check them out, read them yourselves. But it's, the truth is that we have been, our democracy has been captured by oligarchy or plutocracy or whatever you want to call it, but people with massive amounts of money and corporations, transnational corporations with massive amounts of money. And these corporations and these people do not have our interests at heart, whether you're a small business person, whether you're someone who's working or looking for a job, whether you're a college student. They don't give a damn about you. They give a damn about their profits. That's why they're desperate to push the TPP, which would essentially eliminate our right to enforce our own environmental protections or our own labor laws. Right now we're being sued under NAFTA by a Canadian company because the Obama administration, after tremendous pressure from the people and Bill McKibben and his movement, denied permits for the XXL pipeline. We're being sued for $15 billion. Think about that. In not a court, but in a tribunal controlled by the same corporations and the decisions are going to be made by the same corporations that are going to benefit by this. And it could be that we have to end up paying this Canadian company $15 billion or more just to enforce our own environmental laws. I don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat, a Libertarian, Green Party. This should upset you tremendously. And literally, as I said, the world's on fire right now. We're seeing things that nobody expected at this point in time already. So please, I urge you to do all you can to get Jill Stein on that platform for the debates so these issues can be raised. And if you don't like Jill Stein, fine. If you're a Libertarian, do your best for your candidate to get him on the debate, Gary Johnson. Because we don't need a debate between the Donald and Hillary. We need a debate in which the issues will actually be discussed, not the personalities, not the accusations of this or that, but the issues that affect our lives directly. So that's all I have to say to you. Please check out the links if you like beneath this video, and I'll see you when I see you. Take care, everyone. Signing off. Stephen D.